Hi, everybody. Welcome to More with Mindie. I am Mindie Barnett, and today we have a very special guest, Ike Richman, who, for those of you who don't know who he is, and I'm sure there's not many of you, he is an icon in the world of Philadelphia sports, entertainment, public relations, you name it, and even on a national level now too, which we'll get into a little bit later in the show. I want to first say Happy Veterans Day. Thank you so much for everybody who served. We wouldn't be here without you. I'm sure you agree.
I would say so, yes.
Yes, absolutely. So Ike, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. This is fabulous. This is great to be here. I love where we're sitting, and I'm excited to talk to you.
Thanks on my pinky couch.
Oh, it's great.
Little touches of
very
pink.
Comfortable, very comfortable.
All right, let's get into it. So let's get into a little bit about your career. We were talking a little bit about how you got into the industry, a little bit off camera. Maybe you can share a little bit about where you are today and then take us back to how you kind of started.
Sure, I think it really starts with being at the right place at the right time. I think there was a lot of luck, but what I like to tell people is you take advantage of opportunities that exist. So let's go back in time. I'm a student at the University of Maryland. I'm volunteering at our campus radio station, and I hear some over scuttlebutting in the hallway, and I said, what's going on? And the sports director says, we can't get anybody to go to the Washington Capitals game tonight. What do we do? I said, well, I'll go. What do you need? And he said, well, we need somebody to go in the locker room after the game, interview a couple players, and bring the sound back, and we'll play it on the air. I said, great.
They were just short someone?
They just couldn't. They didn't have somebody to go. So I get there. They're playing the Philadelphia Flyers, my hometown team.
Oh, that's a dream come true, right?
And I'm sitting next to the PR guy for the Philadelphia Flyers. Well, I'm not going to miss out on an opportunity. I get his phone number. I tell him I'm graduating. He said, call me when you get back. So I called, and he hires me to work in the press box. And the only thing that they need is keep the soft drinks cold and the warm drinks warm, and everything will be fine. Well, I'm in the press box, and in walks the legendary voice of the Flyers, Gene Hart.
Oh, wow.
And I'm enamored, and I said, Mr. Hart, he said, you can call me Gene. I said, well, Gene, I've been trying to get a job in radio. WIP won't take my calls, ignores my mail. What do I do? And he said, tomorrow you call and ask for this person. You tell them I told you to call. And I had an interview, and they hired me.
Well, let me back up for just
Sure.
a second. Okay, so you just graduated Maryland, or you just finished your senior year. You're working for this in the press box at the Spectrum
Correct.
for the Flyers, and you approached Gene Hart and basically groveled for a job.
Well, I did, because again, don't leave an opportunity.
I'm not knocking you. I think that's
I don't mind, but
impressive.
I'm not going to miss out on an opportunity.
No.
So I get hired to work at WIP, and they say your shift is 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 11 o'clock at night. I said, okay, I'm a morning guy. What am I going to do all day? He said, well, you figure it out. Well, I had a press pass now, so I went to Flyers practice. We're a sports station. I went to the Phillies press conferences, Sixers, and I'm in the Spectrum, and the guy says, hey, did you ever think about a career in PR? And I said, I don't really know much about Puerto Rico. I don't know where it is. and he goes, no, PR is public relations. And I said, yeah, I'd love a career in public relations. So he said, well, do you have any writing samples? And I said, sure. So I went home and started writing samples, and I brought him in the next day, and I got hired. And
You're what we say, you have a chutzpah, and
a
lot. It's impressive.
Well, so
you're not nervous.
I wasn't nervous, but my first day on the job, who do I run into? The guy I sat next to in the press box at the Cap Center, and he said, let me tell you something. Don't worry about who you know. Don't worry about what you know. Just take care of people. You're going to do great. Huh. And it was the best advice that I ever got, because every situation I was in, I just made sure I took care of people. So I didn't have any PR training. I didn't take one public relations class, but Mark Piazza told me, just take care of people, and you're going to be okay.
Oh, that's who it was?
Yes.
Oh, that's really
cool. So Mark
is
my mentor, and he's the guy behind the scenes that got me to where I am.
That's cool.
He was the guy in the press box.
And now he's in New York.
And now he works for those New York Rangers.
That's really cool.
But he's a great guy, and I think that he paid it forward, and that's what I try to do to other students that are coming up, or young PR people, is pay it forward and get them to where they want to go. So with that being said, when I got to the Spectrum and eventually the Wells Fargo Center, I never said no to anybody. Whether there was could you come in tomorrow at 4 a.m.? Yeah, sure, no problem. Can you do this? Yeah, no problem. I never said no.
To the news request, is that what you mean?
To a news request, to a boss's request.
Right.
We need you to go to St. Louis to preview the circus. Sure, no problem. I didn't want to ever say no, because if you say no, they'll never ask you again.
Right, I have the same thought.
So I just started doing everything, and I was getting experience. with the circus, with Disney on Ice, with the Flyers, with the Sixers, and the company at the time kept growing. Comcast Spectacor bought the 76ers, and then it created a management company, it created a food company, a ticketing company. So we just started getting really big and becoming a national company, and I just kept absorbing more responsibilities and taking on more challenges. And that's really how it evolved.
So when Mark went to New York, did you then bump up into his spot? Like what exactly was your role in all of this?
In a way, yes, but Mark was really specifically the Flyers.
Flyers.
And Zach Hill came in from the Sixers, and Zach really took Mark's position. But I was really focused on the arena side, and we were building a new arena at the time. So Ike was going to be the arena guy. He was going to worry about the construction of the Wells Fargo Center and the Spectrum. And then we had 2 arenas going, and then we bought 3 minor league baseball teams. We had the Phantoms come in, and Comcast Spectacor, which at the time when I got there was just the Spectrum and the Flyers, was now this national company with 200 arenas and stadiums around the country, food accounts everywhere, ticketing services for arenas and stadiums around the country, the Flyers, the Sixers. And then Mr. Snyder wanted to launch this charity group, this nonprofit group, the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey Foundation, where he would build his legacy, and that is now his legacy. So I was there to help launch that. So all of these things came under that for never saying no to anybody.
That's fantastic. That's really good advice. I mean, I feel like I kind of share that same mindset. I typically, well, I don't say no because, like you say, they won't call you, they'll call somebody else, or I'm just worried they're not going to be pleased with me, and you always want to be an over-pleaser, especially when you're in PR.
Right.
But even when I was in news, I always said yes to my bosses.
Well, I always said yes, and if you can't say yes, you don't say no, you just say, I'm not sure, but let me find out, or not yet, or not now, but
I'll do my best.
Right, I'll do my best, but never know.
Right.
And that was how I operated, and I think people respected that. And there were times that you learn along the way. It's like, oh, you know what? You don't do that again. Or, oh, I messed that up. I'll make sure I don't do that again. Just take notes. But also, we had this unbelievable access because everybody wanted to go to concerts, or they wanted to go to games, and you're doing favors for people.
Yeah.
And you just started stockpiling up these requests. It's like, oh my gosh, I helped you last time. I really need help. I have this bagpiper coming in, and
it's riveting news.
We need to get on the radio. It's like, well, we don't really play bagpipes. Well, I did get you 4 tickets to the last 6 concerts in a row. You can come in.
Right.
And it's like,
right.
and then it was just doing favors and getting yourself out there and trying to help people the best you could.
So you didn't mind reminding them of the favors? It's okay.
Yeah, politely. You didn't want to be like, you know.
I got that. It's you or me,
right,
but
right.
just
but
FYI.
No,
yeah.
Right. And it was always trying to do what you thought was best for the camera, or the best photo, or the best way to tell a story. And we just would throw things at the wall, and if it stuck, you just went for it. And if it didn't, you find another way to make it stick. I remember some of the fun things that we did was the Wizard of Oz Wizard of Oz on ice.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I know I was Dorothy for Halloween.
I know, I saw. But there was one of your friends that was in a costume.
Oh, I know.
The Tin Man.
He wasn't so
No,
hot.
but
I pushed
We're
him
in
into
Philadelphia.
it. Yeah.
The Tin Man for 75 years has been trying to get a heart. The Franklin Institute has a heart. So why not go to the Franklin Institute
that would have been cool.
and give the Tin Man his heart? So we did that photo opportunity, and the Tin Man got to get his heart, and it was like, oh my gosh,
cool.
but it was fun.
Yeah.
And every TV station showed up for it. And then what else can we do? So it was just about having fun. And in 1999, Philadelphia was awarded the Republican National Convention. Right around the same time, we're getting ready to bring in Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. So we said, what if we have 18 Republican representatives take a taste test tour of Philly's finest restaurants on Walnut Street? Well, everybody was focused on the Republicans. Thousands were lined up waiting for these official Republicans. They were Republican representatives. They were really 18 elephants from Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey. We had helicopters flying over, news stations everywhere. The circus was everywhere
in town
because of maximizing opportunities. So again, it's take advantage of opportunities that exist, never say no, push the limits, push the boundaries, rely on your resources, rely on your relationships, and make stuff happen. And that's really how we did it.
You're very creative, though.
Well,
I mean, you truly are.
Thank you.
And it's coming from someone who thinks I'm creative, you're incredibly
I don't
creative.
really think of myself as creative. It's
No,
like,
you are.
But I want people talking about something. I want people to remember something. I want to leave an impression. That's really the inspiration. And really where it comes from is think of the viewer at home. How many people at home watching now, when they're making dinner, have the TV on while they're making dinner? So they're kind of like this. They're kind of like this. So that photo has to be, oh, wow. It has to be when you look over your shoulder, you have to stop what you're doing, look at the TV, turn the volume up and say, what is that?
Right, like your food's burning and you're like, oh, right?
I don't mind your food burning, but you're paying attention to my show.
No, exactly.
And
we don't care about that food. Then you can order from one of your restaurants.
And hopefully you'll buy tickets to the event. And that's what it's about.
That's cool, because we only have a few more minutes before the commercial break. But what's your favorite part of a gift? You had one really cool thing. That sounds like an amazing story. But anything else?
My favorite
Anybody
part,
cool that you met?
We'll get into that later, but my favorite part is really when you go somewhere and you overhear people talking and they're saying, oh my gosh, did you see that so-and-so happened? And you had something to do with that. And one of my favorite events of all time, we're getting ready to close the Spectrum.
Okay.
And the Wrecking Ball is going to happen on Wednesday.
I remember all of that.
We've done all this stuff. We come up with an idea. My boss and I, we said, what if we just let people come in and take home their own souvenirs? He goes, like what? I go, if you can carry it, you can keep it. And he goes,
that's cool. Remember that too. People were taking seats.
So let them, if you can carry it, you can keep it. $25, we'll donate it to charity. 1,000 people came in. We raised $25,000 for charity. We were all over the news. Sports Illustrated sent a reporter to cover this.
Oh my God!
Because Philly sports fans are passionate.
You're brilliant, Ike. And I'm not kissing your tushy. You really are.
But you want people to remember, not me, but remember the product, or remember the brand, or remember what you're doing. It's not about the accolades. It's moving the product forward, moving the brand forward, and that's what it was about. We could talk about my favorite people. The country artists are always the best. Like Garth Brooks is my favorite guy that I've met.
Really?
Because he was so personable. And when you're backstage and you're like, who are you? And he goes, well, I'm George. I go, how did you get connected to Garth Brooks? And he goes, well, Garth started in bars. He used to play guitar at a bar.
Sort of like that movie, the Stars Born. Oh my gosh.
They were just the two of us. And then people started coming in, and then we started getting a following. And then who's this guy? Well, he's the truck driver. How long? I grew up down the street from Garth. It's like, well, who are you? It's like, I'm the neighbor. Like,
so he's very loyal to the people.
He's loyal to the people, and he was loyal to those that worked with him. And we had 6 nights in a row, and on the last night, he came off the stage and he walked over and he just said, thanks for everything. Make sure everybody else knows. And like, he just wanted to thank me, and he couldn't thank everybody. So like, just make sure everybody knows. And I was like, that's a real cool guy.
That's cool.
Like, that's a great guy.
He's very
we had some really
grateful.
Deep discussions while he was there. He wrote a song called "The River," which my rabbi at the time used as his high holiday sermon. The lyrics to "The River."
Oh, that's cool.
And I told Garth, and I got him a copy of the sermon, and he wrote a letter to the rabbi.
Oh,
so like,
wow, that's
Garth
really.
and I kind of have a relationship, and it's a special one. But those kinds of guys are really great, and I think there are a lot of those that respect the job that you do to protect them and make sure that they get the best coverage.
Right.
And those that take the time to thank you, like a Bruce Springsteen or Billy Joel, they're awesome because they know what you're doing, and they know you have their best interest at heart, and you're there to do a job as well. And
while they're at your venue, you're
right.
getting them the exposure.
Right, and they
that's
appreciate
great.
that.
All right, awesome. Gosh, we could talk forever. I think your stories are so interesting.
Problem.
And I'm sure you do too at home. So we're going to be right back. We're going to talk a little bit more, and we're going to talk about what you're doing now. Sure. And a little bit later, we're going to talk about this really fun show called The Goldbergs that you have a relationship with. Some of you may have heard that show. We'll be right back. Stay with us. More with Mindie. More with Mindie coming up in a minute.
Why should you choose Rowan College at Gloucester County? Low cost. The #1 nursing program in all of New Jersey. More than 70 programs of study, including selective admissions. With record enrollment. A premier partnership with Rowan University. Transfer options with numerous universities. 4-year degree options on our campus. Rowan College at Gloucester County. Now you're thinking.
Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away. 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no obligation Medicare benefits consultation. 856-226-4800.
When did you see the sign?
When I needed to create a better visitor experience.
Improve our workflow.
Attract new customers. That's when Fast Signs recommended Fleet Graphics.
Yeah, now business is rolling in. Get started at fastsigns.com.
What do I want to be when I grow up? Maybe a musician? A veterinarian? Maybe an equestrian? A mommy? Well, why not be all these things and more? Consider joining me, Dr. V, with friends and colleagues as we explore a wide range of topics together. V is for variety, here on RVN TV.
There you go, Richard. Oh! Is that too hard for you?
No. Is it too hard for you?
Woo! We're playing catch now. Oh, shit.
Why should you choose Rowan College at Gloucester County? Low cost. The #1 nursing program in all of New Jersey. More than 70 programs of study, including selective admissions. With record enrollment. A premier partnership with Rowan University. Transfer options with numerous universities. 4-year degree options on our campus. Rowan College at Gloucester County. Now you're thinking.
Oh, cool. Oh, hey guys, welcome back. I'm Mindie Barnett, and you are watching More with Mindie. And today I have the legendary Ike Richman, who is here, and we're dishing about everything Philly, Wells Fargo, you name it. So, Ike, tell us a little about, we talked a little bit about before the commercial break, how you got started in PR, to say the least, and you left Wells Fargo, but you didn't really leave. I mean, you're still there, obviously, in some shape or form, and now you have your own company.
So a little bit, I was at Comcast Spectacor where we owned the Wells Fargo Center.
Right,
so
sorry,
after 29 years, I left the company. I do some consulting for Comcast Spectacor, but really here's an opportunity to take, Ed Snyder, who was one of my dearest mentors, ran the company, and unfortunately he passed away in 2016, but he always told us, he said, take what you do well and grow it. So utilizing that statement, take what I do well. I think I do PR well.
I think you got it down.
Well, let me grow it. So I decided to launch my own business, Ike Richman Communications, and I'm fortunate that some people have said we'd like Ike to work. We'd like to work with Ike, and that's Live Nation Philadelphia. And I'm grateful to Jeff Gordon and his whole team that they brought me on to do the Atlantic City Beach concerts this past summer. I did the Peach Music Festival in Scranton. I did the Hoagie Nation with Daryl Hall and John Oates.
Oh, cool.
And now we're getting ready to open. It's going to be hard to describe, but the Philadelphia Metropolitan Opera House is being restored. This building opened in 1908. It was an old opera house. that sat vacant for about 30 years.
Why? Just
It's
because no more opera
just-
comes to
it was-
Philly?
Well, because the Metropolitan Opera moved to New York, and then it just sat there and
Oh,
deteriorated.
it started in Philly?
Yeah. And
Oh, I
this
didn't realize that.
This was designed by Oscar Hammerstein, the legendary.
Oh, I didn't know any
Oscars
of
and Hammerstein.
people. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
now, Eric Blumenfeld, a developer in Philadelphia, said, "Don't knock it down. I'm going to redevelop it. I'm going to rebuild it." And he partnered with Live Nation. Live Nation is now leasing the space and booking the space. It's going to be a 3,500 seat theater where the venue is really part of the experience. And Brule Caterers is involved. They're a high-end caterer. They're going to serve incredible food, high-end options for drinks. There'll be other stuff there, craft beers. But when you look up themetphilly.com and look at the acts and artists that are coming, Mariah Carey's coming, Sarah Brightman's coming, Bob Dylan and his band are coming, Weezer, Ween, Charlie Wilson. There's
cool.
something for everybody. Pentatonics are coming. We're announcing about 8 more shows this week.
Oh my
It's
gosh, I wanna go.
incredible.
You have to
It doesn't
tell-
open until December 3rd. Bob Dylan and his band are the first act to play this newly restored venue. It's themetphilly.com. Log into it later, themetphilly.com, and check it out. And it's going to change the way people experience live music and entertainment in the region.
That's cool.
That's one of my current clients that I'm really fortunate. I worked with the Philadelphia Freedom's tennis team this summer.
Oh, how was that?
That was so much fun. Billie Jean King
Oh.
is amazing. And everybody in Philadelphia is a buzz about Gritty and the mascot, but over the summer...
Gritty. I love that Gritty. I want
well-
him to be my boyfriend. Can you hook me up?
You have to be Gritty too, you know.
I can be Gritty.
So over the summer, the mascot got lost. They lost the mascot right before the championship game. It became national news, and we finally found the mascot. So we were, and people said, "Oh, it's Ike Richman. He must be doing one of his tricks." And I said, "No, this really happened. This really happened. We lost the mascot. We finally got it back just in time for the championship."
How does that happen?
I don't want to say how it happened, but
Because it was a
shipped-
mistake?
We shipped it on UPS, and they
Oh,
sent it to
okay.
the wrong address.
Okay,
and
okay.
Then they brought it here, and then it was there. And we got it back, thank goodness, uninjured. And one of our sponsors is Doctors is one of our sponsors. Penn Medicine is
Oh,
one of our
cool.
sponsors.
Okay.
So
They had to
Nettie
do some work on
well,
the-
Nettie is our mascot, so Nettie had to have a physical before she could come back out to make sure that Penn got a little bit of
What's
PR.
What's
and
Nettie look like?
Nettie is a
Nettie
tennis ball
cute?
with glasses that looks like Billie Jean King.
Oh, cute.
With hair, with pigtails. She's really cute.
So Nettie didn't have a concussion
No,
in the
she didn't.
travels,
She
and
was-
no broken bones.
No, she was good to go.
Okay.
I do a lot of work with a lot of nonprofit groups. I'm on the board of the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey Foundation.
Nice.
I work with Headstrong Foundation, which is a group that's based in Delaware County that treats families that are going through cancer right now. So if you have a family member battling cancer and need to be treated, they will give you free housing at their house. It's
wow.
Nick's house. Nick is Nick Cullilori, who lost his battle with cancer. His family created Headstrong in memory of Nick, and they've built a house in Delaware County where your family can stay free of cost, and they will take care of you until you're able to go back to where you live.
That's fantastic.
So I'm also working with Devin Still. Devin Still was an NFL football player whose daughter Leah had cancer when she was 4 years old, and you may have seen the story. He was on Ellen. Devin
Yeah.
stopped his career to take care of Leah, so
Yeah.
I'm helping his Still Strong Foundation get some publicity.
That's
I
great.
work with the American Diabetes Association. We just had our big step out last week, and I work on a TV show that's on ABC Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock called The Goldbergs.
That is
And
super
I know you wanted
cool.
to hold off on that for a little bit.
Well, let's just do a little teaser so people have some interest. Not that they wouldn't anyway.
So when I was growing up, I lived in Elkins Park, and my house kind of bordered Jenkintown. So like we were close enough to Jenkintown that I knew what it was.
So for people who aren't from Philly, that's just outside of the Center City, Northeast area.
Northeast suburbs.
Yeah,
And
right.
when I was 13 or 14, I was probably 16 or 17. I volunteered at the local ice skating rink as a coach. I coached hockey kids.
Oh, cool.
And there was this kid, he was really bad.
He was really bad.
terrible.
Okay.
I mean, he sucked.
He sucked.
He was really bad.
Okay.
So I didn't ever want him playing because, like, we're going to lose. So at practice, I would make this kid push the wood chair around to teach him how to skate, and he would just push a chair around.
Oh, brother.
And I don't remember whatever happened to the kid. You move on, and a couple years ago, this TV show comes on, and it's called The Goldbergs. And there's an episode about this kid playing hockey at the Old York Road Skating Club, and his coach used to make him push a chair around. And it's all coming back to me now. This is this kid.
Oh.
This is this kid. And
So he played, he would.
No, he didn't play. He tried to play.
No, so but the creator of the Goldbergs was the kid that you made push the.
Yeah, this is his whole. This is Adam
funny.
F. Goldberg is the executive producer.
Yeah.
the-
No,
the
I know,
creator, the writer.
I didn't know
But
if he
this whole
was.
show is based on his real life.
I know all of that. I thought
Oh,
that
I'm making
maybe
sure
he
the viewers
right.
at home understand.
Right,
that,
right.
That oh my gosh! So I track him
That's
down.
so funny.
And I said, Adam, it's a good thing you can write because you were never going anywhere as a hockey player. And we just stayed in touch. And when I opened up my own business, I got in touch with Adam and said, you need help. And he said, what do you mean you can help? What can you do? And I said, Adam, when you watch your show, there's all these little things happening that we can make stories about. And he
Okay,
said,
so let's pause there
sure.
because I want to find out all about that when we come right back. Stay with us.
Choosing Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away, 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no obligation Medicare benefits consultation, 856-226-4800.
When did you see the sign?
When I needed to create a better visitor experience.
Improve our workflow.
Attract new customers. That's when Fast Signs recommended fleet graphics.
Yeah, now business is rolling in. Get started at fastsigns.com.
What do I want to be when I grow up? Maybe a musician? A veterinarian? Maybe an equestrian? A mommy? Well, why not be all these things and more? Consider joining me, Dr. V, with friends and colleagues as we explore a wide range of topics together. V is for variety, here on RVN TV.
There you go, Richard. Oh! Is that too hard for you?
No. Is it too hard for you?
Woo! We're playing catch now. Oh, shit.
Why should you choose Rowan College at Gloucester County? Low cost. The #1 nursing program in all of New Jersey. More than 70 programs of study, including selective admissions. With record enrollment. A premier partnership with Rowan University. Transfer options with numerous universities. 4-year degree options on our campus. Rowan College at Gloucester County. Now you're thinking.
Choosing Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away, 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no obligation Medicare benefits consultation, 856-226-4800.
When did you see the sign?
Hey everybody, welcome back. We're having so much fun. You're gonna have to come back sooner than later. I'm joined by Ike Richman, and we're talking about the Goldbergs, and we want to get right into it because we only have 5 minutes, and there's so much to say. So you got reconnected with Adam Goldberg, who was not a good hockey player, and I'm being kind, and he actually like emulated that whole entire, I guess like experience with you on his show, and it was like smooth sailing ever since. The rest is history, right?
Well, I for a while I would text him after every episode and just like, oh, I remember this, or laugh about this, and when I left Comcast Spectacor to start my own business, I said, Adam, we could do some stuff together. And he was like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you have all these little things happening in the shows that we could have fun about. And he said, give me an example. I said, well, you're one of the sponsors of the program is Donkey's Bar, and Donkey's is featured in the Goldbergs. And Adam claims Donkey's has the best cheesesteaks in all of Philadelphia. Well, wait a minute. How could a Philly cheesesteak not even be in Philadelphia? It was all featured in the Goldbergs, so we made a whole story about it. And it became national news that the Goldbergs claims the best Philly cheesesteak is not in Philadelphia, it's in Jersey. They were lining up at Donkey's now because Donkey's is featured on the Goldbergs.
That's super cool.
Adam called me and he said, all right, here's one for you. Here's a challenge for you. He said, Rick Moranis retired from acting in 1997 to take care of his family after his wife became ill. He came out of retirement to voice Dark Helmet in his tribute to Spaceballs. What can you do with that? So
and
that was like
that's Freddy Krueger,
no,
right?
No,
that's not Freddy
Robert
Krueger.
Englund,
Okay,
but that's
sorry.
That's
I have my
up.
people mixed up. All right, go ahead.
So we went to the USA Today, and I said, hey, if you follow Rick Moranis, he goes, yeah, Rick Moranis is retired. I said, well, he came out of retirement for this special episode. USA Today blew it up, and then everybody started quoting the USA Today story, and it just became this wave of media. Well, Robert Englund plays Freddy Krueger and stopped doing Freddy Krueger in 2003, said, I'm done.
Why? Just didn't want to be branded as Freddy Krueger?
Just didn't want to do the makeup anymore. And Adam Goldberg, the executive producer, loves Freddy Krueger. He chased him for 4 years and got him to do it. I got him to come out of retirement. So ABC, I work with ABC PR, I work with Sony PR.
Yeah.
Well, they went crazy. They had all this story about Robert Englund coming out of retirement, and it made national news. And I said, well, wait a minute. The real story here is, how did Adam get him to do it? And Adam gave me his story, how he chased him and all this stuff, and that became the best story. And we got into like ComicCon.com, BloodyGuts.com, BloodyDisgusting.com, all those horror publications.
Yeah, those trade pubs that are like, oh, yeah.
The mainstream media knows about the Goldbergs, but now all of these unique little niche stuff, now they're all turning on to the Goldbergs. And this past Wednesday...
So you got them in a whole other audience almost.
Right, so this past Wednesday we had an episode called Bohemian Rap City.
Oh.
Not Rap
Because
City.
of the movie?
Well, the movie's Rhapsody, but this is Rap City.
No, I get it,
and,
yeah.
And it was all about Queen. So Adam's favorite band of all time is Queen, so he wanted to pay tribute to Queen.
Okay.
So instead of going to the mainstream media, we made sure every radio station in America that plays Queen music knows to tell their viewers, if you watch the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, like Queen, tune into the Goldbergs Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. And now again, you've given people an opportunity to tune into the Goldbergs that may have never seen the show before because of this connection to Queen.
Right, that's very cool. So you can't dish on what's coming up.
Oh,
can you give us a little bit of a
I can give you a little bit of a surprise that Adam called into the Preston and Steve show at WMMR a couple of weeks ago, and Casey, who's one of the guys on the show, said,
Casey Boy.
He said, there's this club that I grew up near in Delaware County. It was called Pulsations. How come you don't write about Pulsations? And Adam said, it's funny you mentioned that. In the current season, Barry Goldberg is getting married, and they're going to have a bachelor party.
Oh, that's
and they need a location to have it, and Barry is not 21 yet. Pulsations was an underage club.
I remember all those places, like the Enchante.
While we're on with Preston and Steve, a guy calls up and says, at Pulsations, they used to have this robot, Pulsar. I have the robot. Adam said, get me the robot. The robot made its way to Los Angeles. They recreated Pulsations. And I can't say any more about
Oh, that is, wait, when is that episode
I
on?
can't
Oh,
say
you can't even
any
say.
more about it. But Pulsations and Pulsar will be in the Goldbergs thanks to Preston, Steve, and Casey.
That's very, very, very cool. So this show, for those of you who don't watch, and they should, is on ABC when?
Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock, and you could always get it on demand. And every day at 7:30 and 9 o'clock, it's on PHL 17.
Oh, cool, it gets
So you
repeat.
can see it every day.
One time I had a friend who's a boy, as we were, a different friend with a boy that we were talking about off camera, but he was obsessed with the Goldbergs, like obsessed. Like
Well,
I've never seen anything. So it's like a cult.
If you grew up in the 80s,
Yeah.
and you had a brother or two brothers, or brother and a sister, or two sisters, and you grew up in a suburban family, maybe Jewish, it doesn't matter if not.
Yeah.
One of those little instances probably has happened to you, and you can watch the show and go, oh my gosh, that is so my mom, or that is so my dad, or that is so my brother, or that was so my principal. And you have those moments, and I think that's what makes the show so great. And that's
Yeah.
probably what that friend that's a boy finds interesting about this show.
I'm sure so. I don't know. I don't talk to that friend of the boy anymore or whatever. But yeah, no, yeah. I mean, he was a nice guy. I'm sure he did. So are there any other juicy tidbits of information you can
Juicy
share? Or
tidbits
things like I had a question with the, back to the cheesesteak. So what exactly did you do to get everybody like riled up? You
So I called Donkeys and said, you know, you're featured in the Goldbergs. And I said,
Right.
we know. I said, well, do you have a TV? And they said, well, we close at 7 o'clock. Because I wanted to have a viewing party and maybe they would serve cheesesteaks.
Right.
But what we
They
did
weren't
was
open
we
to that.
They don't open.
suggestion?
They closed. They weren't open.
They
at
didn't
that
want to
time.
stay open? Okay, fine.
I can't speak for
Donkeys,
them.
you should have, but that's okay.
But
All right.
we made sure that every food writer out there that talks about a cheesesteak knows that the best cheesesteak might not be in Philly. It might be in Jersey. And this is only Adam's opinion.
Right, it's not like,
Doesn't mean
obviously-
it's everything.
Right.
But it made everybody say, where's this Donkeys? Like, I got to check it out. And if you looked on Facebook, people were writing about Donkeys, congratulating them on being on the Goldbergs. And now people are going, you'll see photos of holding up, I got my Donkeys. It really is that
That's
good.
cool.
And I think that was Adam's goal, is just put Donkeys on the map
Yeah.
and say, it's not always Pat's, Geno's, or Jim's. It might be somebody else that you least expect. I think that's what came out of
Very
that.
cool. Well, it was a pleasure speaking with
Thank
you.
you
We
so much for
totally have to
having
have
me.
you back.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe once you get the Metropolitan Opera House
Oh,
open,
that'd
we
be
can
great.
talk a little bit
Yeah,
about
that'd be
that. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful Monday, and thanks for tuning in with More with Mindie. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
When I needed to create a better visitor experience.
Improve our workflow.
Attract new customers. That's when Fast Signs recommended fleet graphics.
Yeah, now business is rolling in. Get started at fastsigns.com.
What do I want to be when I grow up? Maybe a musician? A veterinarian? Maybe an equestrian? A mommy? Well, why not be all these things and more? Consider joining me, Dr. V, with friends and colleagues as we explore a wide range of topics together. V is for variety, here on RVN TV.
There you go, Richard. Oh! Is that too hard for you?
No. Is it too hard for you?
Woo! We're playing catch now. Oh, shit.
Why should you choose Rowan College at Gloucester County? Low cost. The #1 nursing program in all of New Jersey. More than 70 programs of study, including selective admissions. With record enrollment. A premier partnership with Rowan University. Transfer options with numerous universities. 4-year degree options on our campus. Rowan College at Gloucester County. Now you're thinking.
Choosing Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away, 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no obligation Medicare benefits consultation, 856-226-4800.
When did you see the sign?
When I needed to create a better visitor experience.
Improve our workflow.
Attract new customers. That's when Fast Signs recommended fleet graphics.
Yeah, now business is rolling in. Get started at fastsigns.com.